Imagine for a moment that you are about to sit down in a dark room. There is a single screen in front of you. Someone tells you what you are about to see in the next 20 minutes will change the way you breathe, the way you spend your money, the way you talk to your children, and the way you face your own death. You would probably lean forward. You would silence your phone. You would pay attention. What I want to propose to you right now is that you don't need a screen. You don't need a documentary or a TED Talk or a viral video. You just need these next few minutes and a willingness to look at 5 truths that most of us spend our entire lives running from. These 20 minutes, if you truly let them in, will be the most eye-opening you will ever watch. Not because I have special effects or secret data, but because what I am about to tell you is already happening inside you right now as you sit there. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let us start with time. Not the clocks on the wall, not the deadlines on your calendar, but the raw, bleeding experience of time passing. You woke up this morning, that moment feels close, doesn't it? Now think back to the first day of high school, that feels farther. Now think back to a birthday when you were 7 years old, the sticky feel of cake on your fingers, the specific smell of wrapping paper. That feels like a different universe. And yet the distance between this morning and your 7th birthday is exactly the same kind of distance as the one between this morning and next Tuesday. It is all just motion. The brain, being a lazy organ, compresses familiar time. When you are 10, a year is 10% of your entire existence. When you are 50, a year is 2%. That is why the summers of your childhood felt endless and why last December vanished in a blink. Right now, inside your chest, your heart is clicking down the milliseconds of your one and only life. And here is the eye-opening part. You are already past your personal halfway point. Statistically, if you are reading this as an adult, you have already lived more tomorrows than you have left. The second half of the movie is shorter than the first half because time accelerates as the theater empties. Most people realize this only when they are holding a diagnosis or standing at a grave or watching their child pack for college. But you don't have to wait for the crisis. You can realize it right now in this moment for free. That is the first blinding light, closer to the end than you think. And you have been living as if you were immortal. Stop it. The second truth is about your attention. We talk about money, about health, about love, but we almost never talk about the fact that your attention is the only thing you truly own. You did not choose to be born. You did not choose your genetics or your parents. You did not choose the country or century of your arrival. But you do choose every waking second where to point the spotlight of your mind. And here is the horror and the beauty of it. That spotlight is pitifully small. You can either aim it at the screen in your hand or at the face of the person sitting across from you. You can aim it at the worry about the meeting next week or at the sensation of air moving in and out of your lung. But you cannot aim it at both. The most expensive thing in the universe is not a yacht or a penthouse. It is a single hour of undivided, present, open-hearted attention. And yet, watch how you spend it. Watch what you do right after this talk. You will likely reach for your phone. You will scroll through a feed designed by 1,000 engineers whose only job is to steal your spotlight and sell it to an advertiser. You will read a comment from a stranger you will never meet, and you will feel a small spike of anger or validation. That spike is the price of your attention. You are trading the only non-renewable resource you have, your conscious moments, for the emotional equivalent of a potato chip. And the truly eye-opening part is that you know this. You have known it for years. You have read the articles about dopamine loops and doom scrolling. You have promised yourself you will change, and yet here you are. Because awareness without action is just another form of entertainment. The 20 minutes of clarity you are having right now mean nothing if, in the 21st minute, you hand your attention back to the machine. So the question is not a do I know better. The question is, in the next hour, will you do better? Will you close the tabs? Will you look out the window? Will you sit in silence and feel the terrifying, gorgeous weight of being alive? That is the second revelation. You are not poor in money or time. You are poor in attention, and you are the only one who can fix it. Third, the story of yourself. You have a voice in your head. It is talking right now, even as you read these words. It is saying, this is interesting, or this is boring, Or I wonder if he's going to mention my specific problem. That voice is not you. Let me say that again. That voice is not you. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the space in which the voice appears. Most people live their entire lives believing that the running commentary, the critic, the worrier, the planner, the one who compares and judges and regrets, is who they are. They identify with the weather instead of the sky. And because of that mistake, they suffer. When the voice says, you're a failure, they believe it. When it says, they don't like you, they feel ashamed. When it says, you need to buy this, achieve that, look like her, retire by then, they obey. But here is the eye-opening experiment you can perform in the next 10 seconds. Try to find the voice. Where is it located? Behind your forehead and your throat? Now try to turn it off. You can't, can you? It just chatters on. That is because the voice is a biological process like digestion or breathing. It is useful for solving problems, for planning, for remembering where you left your keys. But it is a terrible master. And the most liberating truth you will ever learn is that you can simply watch the voice without obeying it. You can notice a thought saying, I'm anxious, and then notice that underneath the thought, you are not actually anxious. You are just a human body having a sensation and a brain labeling that sensation. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. The default mode network of your brain, the part that creates the sense of a separate self, can be quieted. People who meditate for 20 minutes a day literally grow thicker cortical tissue. They shrink the amygdala that screams a danger. They learn to rest as awareness rather than as the endless storyteller. And when that happens, something miraculous follows. You stop being afraid. Not because the world is safer, but because the one who was afraid was never real. The fear was just another thought, and you are the sky, not the storm. For the next 20 minutes after this talk, try this. Every time the voice judges something, say to yourself that there's a judgment, not I am judgmental, not am I wrong, just there is a judgment, and watch what happens The judgment loses its grip. It becomes a cloud passing through. That is the third eye-opening truth. Your suffering is not caused by events. Your suffering is caused by your belief in the voice that narrates the events. And you can stop believing whenever you choose. Fourth. Dead. Yes, that one. The word alone makes people uncomfortable. Look around. If you are in a room, notice how many people just shifted in their seats. We have built an entire civilization on the avoidance of death. You do everything except be here. And that is the final, most unforgivable irony. The one thing you have complete control over, your presence in this moment, is the one thing you consistently abandon. You are like a person who inherits $1 billion and then spends his life counting the lint in his pocket. The riches are right here. The color of the sky, the sound of someone laughing, the feeling of a deep breath after a long cry, the way your child's hand fits in yours, the taste of good bread, the miracle of a sleeping cat. These are not small things. These are the only thing. And you are missing them not because you are bad or lazy, but because you have been hypnotized. Hypnotized into believing that the voice in your head is you, that the future is real, that death is far away. That attention is cheap. That time is plentiful. So here's what I want you to do. Do it now. Do not wait for the end of this speech. Do not wait for a better moment. Right now, take a breath. Not a performative breath. A real one. Feel the air enter your nostrils. Feel your chest rise. Feel the pause at the top and then the release. That was 1 second. That 1 second was your entire life contained in a single inhale and exhale. Now, without moving your head, notice 3 things you can see. The texture of the wall, the way the light falls. The small dust motes floating. Now notice 3 things you can hear. The hum of a machine, your own breathing, the distant sound of traffic. Now notice 3 things you can feel. The weight of your watch on your wrist, the fabric against your legs, the subtle temperature difference between your left hand and your right. Congratulations, for 10 seconds you were awake. For 10 seconds, you were not in the past, not in the future, not in the story. You were just here. And here is the secret that changes everything. You can do that again. You can do that again. You can do it in the next minute and the next. Not perfectly, not all the time, but often enough to remember who you are. You are not your resume. You are not your failures. You are not the voice that says you aren't enough. You are the awareness in which that voice appears. You are the one who hears the bird outside, the one who feels the ache in your back, the one who notices the beauty of a stranger's smile. That awareness has no age. It has no debt. It has no past. It is simply present, luminous, and free. And it has been waiting for you to come home. The most eye-opening 20 minutes you will ever watch are not on a screen. They are the 20 minutes you stop watching and start living. They are the 20 minutes you sit in silence and let the truth of your mortality wash over you until you cry or laugh or both. They are the 20 minutes you tell someone you love them without adding a but. They are the 20 minutes you turn off your phone and walk outside and realize that the sky does not care about your to-do list. And that is the most liberating news you have ever received. You have been given a gift. Not a later gift, a now gift. The gift of this exact second with all its imperfections. You can waste it. That is your right. You can go back to scrolling and worrying and planning and comparing, or you can wake up. Not tomorrow, not next week. Nah. This is the only invitation you will ever receive that is not stamped with an expiration date, because the expiration date is all these are now. So close your eyes for a moment, if you are willing. Feel the aliveness in your body. Feel the mystery. And when you open them again, make a choice. Not a grand, permanent, all-at-once choice, just a small one. Choose to see the next thing you look at as if it were the last thing you would ever see, and then do it again and again. That is the practice. That is the whole of the spiritual life. That is the most eye-opening 20 minutes you will ever watch, stretched out across the rest of your beautiful, fleeting, impossible life. Thank you. Now go live it.